You're watching Hundterwasser visits Machu Picchu, final drawing. Do you remember in the last video how we talked about the left and right side of your brain? You were using the left side of your brain when you were learning about the Native American Incas and Machu Picchu. Now it's time for you to use the right side of your brain to create your own personal artwork. In this project, you'll be using the style of the artist Hundterwasser to express your knowledge of the Native American Incas. In the last video, you did all the research and collected all the images you needed about the Native American Incas. Now it's time for you to choose the images which inspire you the most. Here are the ones I have chosen for my artwork. The next step is for you to go back and review the images of Hundterwasser. Look over the style of his artwork. What colors did he use? How did he draw his lines? These images should inspire you to draw your own Hundterwasser visits Machu Picchu artwork. Please understand, your artwork in no way has to look like mine. I'm only showing you my artwork so you can understand the creative process. The creative process is one where we use both sides of our brain. Watch the entire video before you begin. So let's go over the supplies you will need in this lesson. Grab your pencil and your eraser. Gather the images you have chosen from your research, and let's begin. What you see here are the images that I have printed out. Please understand, you don't have to necessarily print out these images, although printing these images out can make it easier for you to do your drawing. You will notice in this image, I made it into a collage. I created a collage and then made a photocopy. I did this so that I would have a visual reference of the layout that I desired for my drawing. And if you remember what you learned from the previous videos, collage is actually a form of artwork. Go ahead and get comfortable, have all your supplies and your reference material ready so you can begin. You certainly have the option to draw this just by visual reference. However, this can take a very long time, and there's no guarantee that you'll get the proportions correct or end up with the drawing you desire. Would you like to learn a technique to make drawing easier? Take your reference artwork and flip it over. You're going to turn this into a carbon copy machine. Using the side of your pencil, you're going to want to shade the back of the paper. Use a side-to-side sweeping motion to get the most coverage. You'll notice that I don't actually cover the entire back side of my paper. This is because I don't necessarily need to trace over the entire image. It's only necessary to shade the area that you would like to trace over. Turn your paper over and line it up very carefully on top of your drawing paper. It is very important with this technique that you hold your paper in place. This will prevent the paper from moving. Some people like to use small pieces of masking tape to hold the paper in place. Now press down firmly with your pencil as you trace over the image. This technique is similar to making a carbon copy, but we do not need carbon copy paper in order to do this. Some people might consider this cheating, but I disagree. You did all the research, you found all the images, and you even created the collage. So to me, this is just a technique to help you get the drawing done successfully in a way where your final artwork will look the way you want. Carefully lift your paper up, make sure you can see the lines, and then you can go ahead and start to do your drawing. I like to keep my image close by so I can use it as a visual reference. As you master this technique, you can use it to trace any image you would like to draw. Since the goal is to incorporate the style of Hundterwasser with our knowledge of the Native American Incas, I'm going to incorporate in my drawing one of the shapes that Hundterwasser was well known for using. the circle spiral. This looks pretty good so far, but I feel that it's missing something right here in this area. Let me remember. The Incas believed in their sun god, Apu Punchua. I think I'll add the sun god right here. I will use my skills that I learned on how to draw a circle. This image of the gold Inca bird will be my representation of the Inca sun god, Apu Punchua. The next Inca god that I would like to incorporate is the creator god. He was known as the great creator Viracocha. I would like to place my llama right here in this left bottom corner, but I'll be honest, I don't know how to draw a llama. I'll use the technique of carbon copy. I'll shade the area of the paper where I know the llama is located. Then I'll turn my paper over and I'll trace the image of the llama. I will now use this picture of the llama, which I cut out, to help me draw the details of the llama's face. In the bottom right corner, I'm going to use the technique that Hundterwasser did, where he would incorporate the image of a face into the landscape. I will once again use the carbon copy tracing technique. In Hunterwasser's artwork, we commonly saw how he would incorporate portraits into the landscape. Once again, I'm going to have to use my higher level thinking skills. My challenge will be how to incorporate the lines to go through the portrait of the Native American Inca. I have completed my drawing of Hundterwasser visits Machu Picchu. I've added in several of the Native American gods, some of their architecture, sculptures, and even llamas found in Peru. And I created this design keeping in mind that I wanted it to look like the artwork of Hundterwasser. In the next video, you'll see how I use the influence of Hunterwasser's bright colors to complete this masterpiece. Thank you for watching, and aloha!